Hello again, Timberwolves fans. Are you ready for the explosion of Timberwolves basketball? I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan, and it is episode number 59 of Timberwolves Explosion. Yes, we have reached, well, we are just one more episode for number 60. And Timberwolves Explosion is available on thesportstuff.com and on iTunes, along with TimberwolvesPress.com. We thank you always for downloading and listening to this show, and we appreciate it very much. And you listeners have been absolutely fantastic, because episode number 58, let's just say it was a hit, and you listeners have really, really supported us in a nice way, and I appreciate it very, 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 very much. And another reason why this show was a hit in episode number 58, well, the Forcaster was a part of that show, and he has returned for back-to-back shows. We are here on episode number 59, and the Forcaster is here. He is here and ready to go. It is, again, July 16th, Friday, 2010. Well, we are going to talk about a bucket load of things, because there's been a lot of changes. And I mean a lot of changes. I mean, you talk about hope and change. Well, there's change. I don't know about hope, but there's change. Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about the draft. Of course, there was some crazy activity that night. We're going to talk about the free agency. We're going to talk about trades. We're going to talk about the Summer League. And then the fifth topic, well, it's we're going to save that for last, because it's kind of, well, let's just say there's a kind of an interesting, alarming trend going on with the Timberwolves, with their approach, and it's got us a little bit worried. It's gotten me and the Forecaster a little bit worried, as he's nodding in agreement right now, as we that's the best way to describe it on radio, because you can't see it, but well, let's pretty much get things started here. The draft came, and well, we were hoping for some type of excitement. There was a little bit of tease by the New Jersey Nets that they might actually take Wesley Johnson, which would leave the Timberwolves Derek Favors, and unfortunately that just did not happen, did it?
No.
It just did not happen. And back to kind of the boring approach. This is usually how drafts go. It's usually how drafts go, is that you get all these rumors and then none of them happen.
Yeah, that threat was pretty empty, though.
In a lot of ways, yeah. It's just either way, we're kind of getting a player that we want, I guess. David Kahn, though, the mystery on this whole thing is, because really when the draft, the conversation focuses on Johnson versus Cousins here with the fourth pick, and we're a little bit confused with the approach by the Timberwolves, even though, yes, Wesley Johnson fits a need, but did the Wolves take the best player with the fourth pick?
No.
It's just, yeah, I mean, you're kind of left with that question right now, and in the Summer League, which we'll get to later, but you can kind of talk about it a teeny bit here, is we understand it's a Summer League, but DeMarcus Cousins, well, his skill is unmistakable. Dan Barrero, locally here of KFAN, pretty much was saying how the Wolves are he's just totally miffed by the Wolves' approach. You're saying how DeMarcus Cousins doesn't fit their system, doesn't fit their style. Like, what do you make of that?
I think he does, but it's like we're stuck with Darko. Because if we didn't promise him the minutes, he was going to walk. And now that we committed to him, we can't bring a rookie in and give him minutes that we promised a Darko, even though we know the rookie will be better.
Yeah. It's like they kind of sold their soul to the Darko Milicic. Doesn't it seem that way?
Yeah. And they're saying because Darko's here, okay, we don't need Jefferson now. It's kind of, I don't know.
It's a little mind-boggling. It's a little bit, just a little. Yeah, so, we can kind of tie all this together, because there's so much going on, all the free agency, but first, obviously, the draft, and it's just, Though, granted, Cousins kind of does tie into Darko, of course. I mean, there's centers and all that. We even had a vision of a possible Twin Towers approach, have signed Darko and draft Cousins, but
Yeah. But at the time, we still had Jefferson and Love, and then we're thinking, okay, we can't really have, Cousins at power forward because there's not enough time, so it had to be a full-time center. But now that, front office knew that we're going to be trading either Love or Jefferson, they should have just gotten, Cousins. Even though Johnson was a better fit because they convinced me that Darko, he's a definite starter, even though he hasn't proved anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they see glimpses of potential, but one thing he's proved is that he's not consistent at all. He'll play for the big check,
yeah,
and then just quit.
That's the interesting part. That's been the trend with Darko Milicic, because remember with the Orlando Magic, he looked awfully good, and then he was signed to a 3-year deal, whatever you want to call it, with the Memphis Grizzlies. 3 years, $21 million, go to a cool $7 million a year, and then he pretty much fell asleep after that. And local media, Barrero again, he's been the guy who's really not getting he's not getting fooled by the Wolves' approach at all. And he may be even a little bit too harsh on certain things that we'll get into later on with Beasley, I would think. But it's strange.
Yeah, looking back on that, we definitely should have taken Cousins.
Yeah, and I feel bad because I endorsed Wesley Johnson with the 4th pick on Facebook a couple of days. Yeah, like we both did even. It's like, oh, what the heck, let's go for it. He fills a need. He might be good. And we were kind of also at the same time reserved to the fact the Wolves aren't going to take Cousins anyway. So it's like, okay, fine, we'll endorse the pick.
Yeah, he didn't want to come here to... he didn't want to come here.
Yeah, with that whole practice thing. And
saying, well, you're not going to pick me anyway,
Yeah.
But still, it was like, we're so convinced that Darko is like, why get Cousins when we have Darko?
Yeah.
He just convinced me in that. And then I kind of moved on. Okay, well, the center spot is full with the truth, Darko Milicic.
Mm-hmm. And that's the new truth. That's the new truth. Though we like to call Danilo Gallinari in New York. We call him the truth. For fun. Of course, Eddie Curry's the true truth. I mean, that guy's got some talent, right? Sorry about that, PMAC, but I mean, as much as we do that. Yeah. Well, Danilo has a chance to be good, but I'll leave that before I get in trouble with too much digressing. It's just, we kind of sold our soul here to Darko Milicic, and you hope and pray that this will work out. Do you see it working out? 4 years, $20 million, I'll just throw that in. Yeah.
I just hope so, because if it doesn't, we'll have to, every time we see, the Kings play, or, whenever Cousins comes here, he's going to show us that we made the wrong choice.
Yeah, it's like, and it'll be like insult to injury because, of course, we all remember what happened last year. Tyreek Evans was absolutely the pick at number 5, and then the freaking Kings took him, and you knew it, you foreshadowed it, you're like, Kings are going to screw up this draft for us, I just know it, and they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you imagine? If Tyreek is working out right now, obviously no guarantee, you never know. It's happened once in a while that a guy comes off great and flames out, but if DeMarcus works out as well, oh boy, that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, that is going to hurt.
It's going to hurt. It'll actually hurt more to me than the whole Roy for Foy. Because, excuse me, because we just passed him up completely. Yeah, this just reminds me of the Roy for Foy trade. Yeah, because if Johnson doesn't work out and then you see, Cousins just dominant. That's definitely going to hurt.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really hard for us to swallow here in Minnesota. We've been through so much already. Obviously the Rifer Foy and so many others that Flynn and Curry. We could. To prevent myself from digressing too much, but yeah, Flynn and Curry. Yep, that one doesn't look good either. It seems like whenever one guy blows up and the other doesn't, we always wind up with a short straw. No matter what. It's just I don't know. I hate to say woe is us, but it feels that way. So now, do you have anything else to add for?
Just at the time, I was comfortable with having Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
With the whole, the way I accepted it was saying, okay, well, he fits a need.
Mm-hmm.
We need a small forward.
Yeah.
But now that I look back on it, I was definitely fooled.
Mm-hmm. You were fooled.
Yeah,
Kevin
definitely
fooled.
by the whole, Darko's the truth,
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the best, he's a definite starter on the team.
Mm-hmm.
When I don't think he is. He hasn't proven anything. He looked okay when he was here, but how long is that going to last after he gets his big check? That
is the scary part, yeah. Because we both felt comfortable with it. Just shucks, it's already been it already has been about a month since the last show. We were pretty comfortable with it then, but yeah, after sleeping on it the last month, and again, I'm sorry, listeners, it's been that long, but we are starting to question this a bit, and the amount of money too is it's not even the amount; it's the length and the amount, I guess.
Yeah, and the amount.
Me, I guess it is.
It's the commitment to him.
The commitment, yes.
Like, why are we so committed to him by saying, you know what? There's this great guy, DeMarcus Cousins, center, who probably most likely is better than you.
Mm-hmm.
But since we don't want you running from us, we'll give you this huge contract and make it so there's no competition for your minutes.
Yeah, and remember how, and that whole deal, again, is because he only is going to be here if he's going to start.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's like he's demanding a starting position for what reason again?
And preventing us from getting a definite, I think, all-star, the way it's looking.
He could become that. Obviously no guarantee, but he could, and of course the center position is really, what's the word I'm trying to, the all-star, the center position is really thin. There we go. That's a simple but probably the best fitting word right now. The center position has vanished from the NBA. There's no Patrick Ewing, no David Robinson, Hakeem anymore. It's not even Shaq anymore. Yao, he's always hurt. Jeez, there's not many centers left. They're just power forward centers nowadays, like Amari.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's like, all-star at center is believable. Sure. Shucks, Dart? No, I won't even go there. God forbid. That'd be nice if that worked out, but we'll find out. So, the Wolves went into the draft, again, the first round, with 3 picks. Of course, the first one was Wesley Johnson. The second one, the Wolves took Luke Babbitt, who could be a sharpshooter, and then immediately traded him to Portland. Again, another trade with Portland, which you pray to God this one works out. They do bring in Martell Webster, who is also looked on to be a nice shooter, but certainly adds more athleticism to a team that had maybe 1 or 2 players. I guess 2 players that for sure had athleticism last year on this team, Flynn and Brewer. Webster's added to the mix. Do you think this trade improves the team, or do you think we should have stuck with Babbitt? Or
I think with Webster and Gomes, I think that was kind of a lateral move.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
Gomes too. Yep.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't seen Webster play that much, and during the draft, we're listening to a K-fan.
Yeah. Yep. Henry Lake. Yep.
Yeah, they kind of had me convinced that Webster was a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back and reading what the Blazers fans have to say,
mm-hmm.
I hear that he's inconsistent. And I actually looked at his stats, and his 3-point shooting isn't all that great.
It's definitely a consistent thing, a consistency thing, I should say.
Yeah.
And yeah, Barrero was talking about he's like about 60th place in 3-point shooting. So it's like, why are the Wolves talking about he's this lights out shooter?
Yeah. I was convinced. Like they had me convinced while I was listening to it. I was like, okay. It's like I want our team to be so good that any type of good news, I'll be convinced.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm just now stepping back and looking at it like, wait a minute. You know, these aren't good choices.
Yeah. And I do remember him torching us because Portland, remember, I blew up, just absolutely ranted every time we played Portland when I was reviewing the games last year because it was some of the worst basketball ever. And yeah, I'm saying that with full sincerity. It was some of the worst basketball ever. And our perimeter defense is maybe the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Martell certainly exploited it, but yeah, that's the thing. Exploiting the Wolves' bad defense isn't necessarily as difficult as Boston or something. I mean, that perimeter defense is a little another story there. And probably OKC. Shucks, that perimeter defense is looking all right over there, too. But Martell, it's kind of like you got to cross your fingers and hope for the best. I mean, I remember getting pissed off thinking, how is this SOB hitting all these shots on us? And it's funny hearing now he's here, so hopefully the SOB hits his shots here. Hopefully. Yeah, I mean, the athleticism, there is no question about that, believe it or not. And, the Portland Trailblazers had so many athletes on their roster, they're kind of like, we got this Martell guy, yes, and we'd like a more of a pure shooter in that Babbitt guy. So, here's you. We're going to make you an offer. Yes. We'll even take Gomes' bad contract that we can void. Yes. I believe it does count for the cap still, though. That's the weird part. Or so David Kahn, I believe, mentioned. That was one of the weirdest contracts of all time, the Ryan Gomes one, but that, of course, part of the deal.
And then the other trade.
The Booker, yep. Wolves take Booker 23rd and trade down for, was it 30th and 35th, and there you go.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure who was the Heat. They got a better deal.
Oh, it was Washington. Remember? Washington.
Yeah. They got a better deal.
Booker
for a later pick.
Yeah, they did get a few. Yes, they did. They did. Yep. Yeah, they did get another pick. The Wolves. See, what's funny too, how they were making fun of a lot of the commentators, and we were too, because you trade down for the very last pick in the first round. It's the weakest player you can get that you still have to guarantee a contract to. And even better, now that 30th pick ended up being Lazar Hayward, who says all the right things. He does. And you read interesting articles in the Star Tribune how he practiced his jump shot in the dark, because that was his coach. It's a very unique way. And shucks, we've done that before, and we're not bad shooters, to be honest. We've shot a lot in the dark, and funny, our shots look better. But it's an interesting thought, but Lazar Hayward, ladies and gentlemen, projected to be the last pick in the NBA draft. Not the last pick in the first round, the last pick in the NBA draft. And in the NFL, they call that Mr. Irrelevant. And yes, that's a real... Yeah. A lot of NFL fans do know that. The video was not that exciting. Booker looked like an athletic Craig Smith. And we know, Marcus loves it. The Forcaster loves Craig Smith, loves him.
Yeah, we definitely. I was mad about that one. And then I was just hoping that we would have taken Crawford.
Yeah, because that was the other thing. Jordan Crawford was available. You thought, okay, here we go. We're going to take Jordan Crawford at 23rd. Yeah. Okay, we traded down. God, yep. And it's like, we always brag. That's a thing, too, that's got me scratching my head as I'm saying it right now. And you can see it. And you can see me doing it. We brag and brag and brag about how many picks we have, yet we trade down and trade them away and trade them down. And it's like, okay, what am I missing here? I didn't know being excited about picks meant trading down. It means trading up, right? Usually you want to trade up to get somebody you may have a strong opinion on.
Yeah.
So then we trade down and take a guy who's projected to be the worst pick. I mean, yeah, he gets picked with the final pick in the entire draft. And guarantee him money. regardless if he can shoot in the dark or not, I don't know. And he didn't even play in the Summer League game tonight that we watched on NBA TV. Didn't play. Not sure if it's an injury issue. We know Wesley Johnson's hurt. We'll get to that in a sec. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I don't know. I mean, any other thoughts on Lazar? Lazar.
No.
The name's cool, but that's about it. I mean,
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. He says all the right things, and him and Wesley do talk about how they want to be good defenders and all that stuff. That's good. We appreciate that because defense in Minnesota sound like that's about having oxygen to breathe. I mean, anybody that can even play defense a little bit is an improvement right now. It really is. Yeah. The Wolves also take a Serbian with that 35th pick. They take a Brazilian a little later. And they take another Nadai guy. I love that name. His pick was traded away in one of those deals. It gets confusing, but overall the draft, letter grade. Do you have a letter grade for the Wolves draft?
See, I say a D plus.
D plus, yeah. That might be about where I'm going. About D plus, yeah. I'll go with a D plus too. Can't quite say F, I guess, just because Johnson might end up being all right. But
I'm saying I don't really feel good about the Johnson because say it's D plus because it's like we got forced into pick a Johnson even though we shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
With the whole Darko thing.
Yep. And they kind of forced themselves, and they were so convinced that screw Cousins, and of course we couldn't get favors because the Nets were just trying to make us get excited. Or actually, no, it was they were hoping we wanted Johnson so bad that we would trade up, but luckily that wasn't the case.
Yeah, the grade can go up. It just depends on how Johnson, performs.
Mm-hmm. It's all about it. This draft is Wesley Johnson or bust.
Yeah.
Because Lazar, he's the 30th pick. If he contributes, that's a plus. If he doesn't, well, you passed on some nice, solid players with that 23rd pick, I think. Hard to say there. I mean, yeah, that's definitely D plus range. Maybe D minus.
Yeah, if we could have gotten... I feel way more comfortable if, again, like if we would have gotten Cousins,
yes,
we could have traded for Webster. He could have been the starting small forward, or kept...
Or shooting guard,
kept Babbitt.
Mm-hmm. That's if we didn't get Webster,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the draft should went a whole lot better. Feel the need with shooting guard, could have gotten Crawford.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that. I mean, granted, Webster's, I guess, projected that right now. We'll see, though. Shucks, the way Ellington's, they'll foreshadow, though, but I'll leave that there. It's looking good. So far.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the draft?
No.
So we'll wrap up the draft conversation. Okay, sorry about that, guys, over in Australia. I had to do that. We'll get into free agency right now. I guess we're due to, we don't need the show to be 3 hours long, and due to probably too much coverage already to it, we are going to ignore the Miami Hydra developments. That's the nickname I have for him because of three-headed dragon. I'll just go to this point. Three-headed dragon. The H looks cool with heat, the font. And, three-headed dragon. They breathe fire. Fire and heat kind of go together pretty good. And, there you go. The Miami Hydra. I'll just say this super-duper quick, really quick, before we get to free agency. Well, it is free agency, I guess. I am impressed with the team, but not everybody else is, I guess. Probably too much coverage, too much bandwagon. Granted, I guess you can kind of accuse me of that, but Dwayne Wade is my favorite player for the last 7 years. So that's about it. Probably nothing to add there. Yep, because I know you're pretty much fatigued with all that LeBron stuff. Yep, I think we all are. All right, well, free agency, Wolves related. Darko, Pekovic, and should I say his name? Ridnour, yes. The best part is Ramon Sessions is still on the roster. The same poker approach the Timberwolves took with Al Jefferson.
Yeah,
we can
lowered his value.
What are we doing? Now, we were scratching our head a bit about the draft. 2 point guards back-to-back last year. And, yeah, that was frustrating. This year, it was even weirder and even more confusing because it's like, what the hell? But now when you go into the free agency period and the trades, it's like you want to play poker, you want to call someone's bluff because you only have like you have like maybe 2 pairs or something, right? You know, not that I know much about poker, but I know that much. Maybe you have 2 pairs of 8 or something, or no, what am I saying? 2 8s and 2 7s or something. Yeah, that's your hand. So what are we going to do? Instead of trying to call someone's bluff and make them think we have a really good hand, so they give up and fold, we go, now, we have 2 pairs of 8s right here. Now, if the Miami Heat, Utah Jazz or whoever would like Al Jefferson, now, we have 2 8s and 2 7s. If you happen to have 2 aces, we're just going to fold and give you Al for that price. Because we just want to approach this in a very open way. And that's the way the Timberwolves play poker, I guess. I love the open approach. Chucks, we're media. You could call us media, alternative media, but we're media. We love it. It's material, and we're having fun with it. But as Wolves fans, we're not having fun because we're... Wow.
This Khan just talks way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Way too much.
Oh, it's just getting weird, isn't it? So the whole free agency and trades, we're just going to merge these 2 topics together because they're one and the same. So,
the only way Sessions will have any type of value is if multiple teams want them.
Yep.
And they're competing amongst themselves.
And we hope and pray that's happening, but one of the teams in competition... Okay, now I'm starting to talk like David Kahn because I get in character and I can't get out of character. I'm like obsessive actor here. One of the teams that would have been in competition for Ramon Sessions signed Sean Livingston.
Yeah,
that would be the Bobcats.
We should have signed. I believe we should have signed
instead of the new hope, Luke, the new hope.
Yeah,
there he is. He's the new hope.
Yeah, because if we would have gotten Livingston, we could have said, okay, now we'll put Livingston at point guard, put Flynn at shooting guard, or Livingston at shooting guard.
The 3 guard, kind of be a the
little
microwave
run
off the bench. Yep.
Yeah, a little test run for the
Jet Terry. Yep.
For Rubio when Rubio gets here, if he comes here.
We're still. The Timberwolves have the opinion and the approach here that this is all about Rubio. That's why you trade Al Jefferson, supposedly, because you don't want that in-and-out game. You want the supposed running game that we saw only on turnovers last year. Only when we created turnovers, that's the only time we saw any breaks. But I suppose that's when they happen more often. But we'll see. I mean, I really hope the offense does open up, and that's the whole opinion here. It's all about Rubio, yet... Yeah, we still that's still the jury's still out on Rubio beyond.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee that when he comes here, we're not going to become a championship team once he gets here.
Mm-hmm. There's no guarantee of any kind at all. And of course, I don't know why I pressed that, but there we go. Of course, we keep Kevin. Yeah, we keep Kevin Love. And trade Al Jefferson, you trade away a nice low-post presence, the guy who's just starting to get healthy. See, not only was his trade value probably at an all-time low, other than when he was a rookie, unproven rookie, because of the injury and the not-so-great season last year, you trade him away now, and you show your hand that you're going to trade him. It's just double whammy. I don't know if there's a triple whammy somewhere in there. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's just too much. We fully commit to Darko, who...
It's all about Darko.
Yeah, who's saying he's going to leave if we don't, give in to his demands. Mm-hmm. He stays here.
Yeah.
Because he stays here, and because the way Khan has this man crush on him,
He does, and Rambis does too, apparently.
Yeah, we pass on the best option, Cousins, to get a guy who will fit a need.
Yeah.
Then we go ahead and draft more small forwards.
It's just...
And then we say, okay, well, since we have Darko here, Jefferson, you don't fit our team, we're going to trade you.
Yeah.
And then during all this, we still hear about how we just love Rubio, and when Rubio gets here, he's going to save us. He's our hope.
He's our
He's
hope.
going to be our savior when he gets here.
He's the Lord.
And what is Flynn supposed to think during all this?
Yeah, it's not a Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, when we drafted Flynn, Kyle was saying how his personality, he's going to be the team leader. It's going to be great. They can play together. It's I don't know if I wouldn't know how to feel about it if I was Flynn, because you're constantly reminded that you're expendable.
Yeah, it's like shucks. When you play NBA 2K whatever, like 2K11, 2K10, you put the status you're replaceable. What does their morale do?
Yeah,
it worsens. Just and obviously that's the realistic part. Yeah, Flynn is expendable according to the general manager. Well, I don't know. I don't like calling him that. He's president of basketball operations. That's his official thing. Everybody likes to call him general manager, which is technically a lower position, but I don't know, I'm being too technical here. This is what he's, the whole thing how you say he talks too much.
Yeah.
Yes, he does, because the whole approach is this guy's expendable, this guy's expendable, this guy's expendable. He's only the fourth best player on a good team.
Yeah.
He's not even the fourth best player on a team. We're trading him tomorrow. Oh, but I guess we'll keep him for a couple of months though, just to evaluate him.
Yeah, and the guy who hasn't proven anything is definitely a starter.
Yeah, it's what the hell. It's like we know centers are a rare commodity, especially senators. Wow. Yeah, senators are a rare commodity too. Senators that exist and aren't robots for something called the bank. Okay, we'll leave that for another day, another show. We know centers, I'm finally saying it right, are a rare commodity, but that was bad. But we know that Darko has not proven himself, yet you have a 21, I'm pointing right at his name just looking at it, 21, 22, 23 points a game player.
Yeah.
With post moves, you talk about rare commodity. There's about 3 guys in the league that have post moves at Al Jefferson's level. There are so few.
Yeah.
And if this Hakeem Olajuwon deal with him and Hakeem, who I've compared Al's post moves to since I've seen him play, along with a little bit of Duncan too, with the up and under, it's been crazy.
Yeah, and we basically gave him away for nothing.
Mm-hmm. So now that Al is gone and all that, well, the Wolves, of course. Remember how I talked about the Miami Hydra, the Miami Hydra, and LeBron James is Darth Hydra.
Wait, let me bring one more thing.
Okay.
About Flynn, because I actually like Flynn.
Yeah.
I think in the right system, he could have been a lot better than he is now. And I know there's no guys in the draft who are thinking about playing for the triangle.
Yeah.
Right? And during that draft, unless you're going to the Lakers, you're thinking, okay, I now have to learn a triangle. But Flynn comes here, and last thing he's thinking about is playing in a triangle.
Yeah, that's the last thing. Yeah,
and then here comes Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, it's like, okay, we said you're going to be the face of the team. You want to be the team leader. Now you have to learn a triangle.
Yeah.
And
that's not as,
Yeah, Rambis even said it's going to take a couple of years. So it's like, okay, he's not for the triangle.
Yeah.
If anyone was for the triangle, it was the perfect one for the triangle would have been Lawson.
Yeah.
Since Rambis wasn't here, it's kind of like, okay, we tell Flynn he's going to be face. Here comes Kurt with the triangle. You know, it's going to take a couple of years. He's not for the triangle. And in the meantime, he has to learn the triangle. And, you know, every so often he has to hear, oh, yeah, we can't wait until Rubio gets here. I mean, you're like, why even try?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That's how. And we keep hearing about how Kurt, when guys leave, we send them to where they want to go. They're not on our team anymore.
Yeah.
And the guys who are on our team are getting talked about. So, yeah, definitely the morale has to be low. And the chemistry, I'm not sure about the chemistry because, if anything, they're all getting together talking about Kurt.
You hope not, but it's possible.
Yeah.
You know, Kevin Love wasn't happy, and Flynn. Well, since we're on the subject, real quick, and obviously, you know, this is the way it goes when we're on the subject. Well, did Flynn and Rambis get along real well last year? Remember what he told Rambis a couple of times later in the year when he got pulled out of the game?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He dropped a 4-letter word that starts with a F, and the 3-letter word that's, well, it's you. And he said it multiple times when he was pulled out for Ramon Sessions, who, of course, will not be back on this team. The question is, well, will we get a second-round pick for Ramon? And maybe for, I won't even go there. But, well, yeah, we can.
Yeah, and I swore that they were supposed to be fighting for a starting position. But now we're getting Luke Ridnour.
Yep. The new hope is here.
Yeah, and I really don't see the point in signing him for 4 years.
And the exact contract is Ramon Sessions. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
Exact. 4 years, $16 million. Exact.
Yeah, so what's the point? And I know some people are saying, okay, when Luke gets here, you know, he'll give Flynn some pointers. But do you want to sign a guy for that? To do that? Did Luke come into the NBA to become a teacher?
You wonder. I mean, he certainly wasn't. I mean, the first 8 years or so of his career, maybe a little bit last year with Brandon Jennings, and that's good and all, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate to Johnny Flynn.
Yeah,
Brandon Jennings and Flynn are two different people, two different offense. Yeah,
like I don't know what people expect Ridnour to do. Just sit there and tell Johnny Flynn, okay, what you got to do is, you know, this and that, give him pointers. If anything, that's what Reggie Theus should be doing.
Yeah, I mean, he was a superstar point guard for the Bulls. Yeah, I mean, he was the real deal, Reggie Theus. I mean, Luke Ridnour, I'll be honest, I like him more than Ramon Sessions.
Yeah.
It's just, it's kind of like, how can you not, in a way? I mean, he actually can hit a shot once in a while. Sessions, I don't think he's capable of hitting a shot. I really don't, honest. And, Luke is more of a true point guard. Sessions, I don't even know. To be honest, I'm beginning to wonder how he even put up those numbers in Milwaukee, to be honest. I don't even know how. I guess it's because he played us in one of those games. But
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 44-point game somewhere in there. Luckily, I don't think that one was against us. I probably would have remembered it a little bit deeper, but I don't know. I don't know how it happened. It just did, I guess. Maybe we're a little too jaded. I like Luke. I think he's an upgrade. It's just funny, though, how we were kind of miffed last year. You got Rubio and Flynn. Since we're still on the point guard tower, we could talk about the point guards for 15 years with this team. But, you signed him for the 4-year deal, and we were miffed a bit because, Rubio is kind of the focus here, but you're signing Sessions to 4 years. 4 years. And you already have Flynn. I know you got to have somebody, but still, 4 years? How about 3 or 2, maybe?
Yeah, and what's that saying to Flynn?
Yeah,
or you're definitely gone?
Yeah.
By the time Ridnour's contract is up, you can just walk?
That or that whole shooting guard thing is a bunch of horse, He's 6 foot. I mean, he's 6 foot tall, and his defense, his pick and roll defense isn't bad. It's really bad. But the funny part too, the point that I'm kind of trying to add in also, the 4 year $16 million. So you started over with Luke Ridnour, you start another one. It's just like, what were they thinking? Yeah. It is like that, and I'm sorry, angry video game nerd level there, but yeah. Oh, and by the way, the Wolves signed Nikola Pekovic, first overall pick in the second round. The year we got Kevin Love, that would be the 2008 draft. the reason why he slipped to the second round was because they didn't want to have to guarantee him a deal when he's going to be stuck in Europe for 2 years at least. And he's a Wolf now, 3 years, $13 million.
Actually, was that finalized?
Yeah. Actually, I guess technically it might not be because of all the confusion with the draft, but
yeah, I think
it was
he might
agreed upon. It was agreed upon, though.
Yeah, but I think he actually might be there for another year because they're willing to give him $10 million American.
It's like that one might be still floating out there, but I do believe he is signed. It's just not announced yet.
Yeah,
as confusing as that is, but I guess that's one of those things we'll have to get back to. I guess it's weird, but
the one the signing I am happy with is Beasley.
The trade, yes, yeah. See, we got involved with the Miami Hydra deal because, who would have thunk? I mean, we were a part of the whole LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Miami Hydra because the Timberwolves acquired Michael Beasley from the Miami Heat. Second round pick, just 2 years second round. Second overall pick for 2 second rounders. That's where that came wrong. 2 second rounders. It was originally going to be a second rounder and a first round swap, which is the most unique thing. I've never heard that before, but it's it makes sense to me. A first round swap is, well, let's just say Minnesota had the 14th pick and Miami had the 30th. Well, within a 7-year period, the Wolves would have the option to choose what year to do it in the 7-year period until it's too late. Then Miami would be able to force it up to the 7th year. Say we have the 14th and Miami's the 30th. Well, plump, swap. Miami has the 14th and we have the 30th. But
yeah, I'm sure you meant the details of the swap make sense, not the fact that we actually would want their first round pick versus ours.
No, it's a swap because it's kind of a way for Miami to get something. But nope, it's now 2 second rounders, one in 2011 and the other in 2014.
Yeah.
So that's not bad considering the talent level Michael Beasley does have.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the maturity level now that we got to worry about.
Yeah, even though I know the rest of the GMs are mad that we actually helped that team by getting Beasley, but it's not like we're going to, step into the championship anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be
to the finals. So
no, we're not. Not for a while.
Yeah,
and they had to make room. Just the whole Beasley thing obviously needed cap room to get any type of piece around the Hydra, the big 3-headed dragon there. They had to get some pieces around them, and Mike Miller's one of them. Udonis Haslem is re-signed with Miami. So, yes, we're talking about Miami because we did get involved. So, there's your Miami Heat talk.
You might have done the rest of the league a favor because I doubt that Miller's going to be playing every game.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Mike Miller. I can't. Oh, my God. Oh, I just wanted to. How many times did you just want to grab him and rip his hair out? Is that too harsh, or is that too nice? What do you think? I mean, that.
I doubt he even shoots a 3-pointer.
I hate it.
I'm sure he'll be open, but I don't think he's going to shoot anything.
Yeah. Is it okay if I say this? I hate him. I hate Mike Miller. Hate him because all he simply had to do when the ball got into his hand and he's open on the 3-point line is shoot the ball, and he just put it on the floor. And, I know. Now I'm going to start ranting because that name got brought up. I can't.
Yeah, Beasley was a good grab for us.
Beasley was a good grab. Yep, thanks for getting me off that. Whew. Yeah, because I could have kept going and gotten really naughty. Yep.
It's now like, I was excited about hearing this, that Beasley said he's more comfortable at the 3.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thought because maybe you could shut Kevin Love up and, okay, fine, start, you son of a gun.
Yeah, that's another thing with this team. It's with the Darko, with the Flynn.
And Love.
Yeah, getting rid of Jefferson, who wanted to be here.
Yeah.
Who came back early from his injury to play for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then during the season, you had Kevin Love crying.
Mm-hmm.
Saying he doesn't want to be a 6th man.
Yep.
And now he's crying about, well, I want to be a starter.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, only thing that made it better was the fact that Beasley said he's better at small forward.
Mm-hmm.
But
especially defensively, yeah.
But what do we use our fourth pick on? A small forward.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yep. So it's like there's some decisions that need to be made here. And it's like it's funny to even say this because I love scouring Real GM and other sites like that for what did the Wolves do? Did the Wolves do something today? Oh man, we love trades and change, but this team has done it too much. Yet at the same time, it looks like they almost. It's funny. It's like they traded the wrong people in a way. I mean, especially Al versus Love. I really think that.
I think we drafted the wrong people and we traded the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
I think we still could have came away with the Heat, with the position that the Heat were in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that saying, okay, we want Beasley, that could have been thought about during the draft. So we could have said, okay, get Cousins, Darko, Jefferson, Love, Beasley, and we could have still traded and gotten Webster.
Yeah, that would have still happened. Yep.
Yeah.
And we would have almost, if we had Al, if we were going to keep Al and draft Cousins, that Webster thing probably pretty much had to happen then. Get that athletic 2 guard.
Yeah, I would have been fine with that, and then have gotten, and then drafted Crawford for shooting guard.
That would have been awesome.
Or just let Brewer and Ellington go for it.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Ellington. Woo, is he looking good in summer league? Yeah, I mean it's.
Yeah, and then not have signed up Pekovic.
Yeah, because as you were saying, he looked like he's just not looking so good.
Yeah,
I mean,
the video of him I saw recently, he just looked out of shape. I don't know, he hasn't proven anything here. So why give a guy that much money?
Yeah, guaranteed up $13 million.
Yeah, and we could just sign Actually, we could have just sat on Jefferson and waited if that's really what we wanted to do until the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people are saying, okay, what if he gets injured? It looked like he was healthy towards the end of the season. So who's to say that Webster's not going to get injured?
Mm-hmm. I mean, people get hurt. Yeah. Kevin Love broke his hand.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, Kevin Love might get hurt. That's kind of how they approach. Yeah, that's silly. Some people out there that post on message boards. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it's like, what are you watching?
Yeah.
And here we go.
Yeah.
Shall we get into the conspiracy talk or a little bit of brief summer league talk? What do you think?
Conspiracy.
Are you ready
I think
to conspire?
pretty much covered the summer league.
All right. Oh, and then after the conspiracy, we'll get to some of your Facebook. Yeah, we'll get to the Facebook stuff too after that because we like to usually close with that to involve you guys on here. Brent Jacobson and Nigel Southern, you guys are awesome.
Actually, for summer league, there's really not much to talk about, seeing as how the guys were interested in seeing playing, except for Ellington.
Wayne tonight, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And he looked like Kobe, but everybody else, no. He did, but I mean, obviously it's summer league, and we'll say this real quick. The guy's, he's a good basketball player, and when Hollinger called him a bust at the 28th pick, what are you watching? Are you watching the same thing? I mean, are you watching the game, or do you understand the object of the game of basketball? I mean, I didn't know making shots, and being able to penetrate at his level, and high basketball IQ makes you a bust. I just didn't know that, especially with the 28th pick. I mean, guys usually 15th to 30 it's a 50-50, man, that they're going to really make it at all. And 28th pick, if Wayne Ellington could be a 8 to 12 points a game player, hey, that's not a bust at the 28th pick. It's just not.
Yeah.
And I really like him a lot. And anything else you want to say about Wayne?
No, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Same way.
Mm-hmm. So here's our conspiracy before we get to your Facebook group. So I'm sorry I didn't mention this earlier. So no, we have not forgotten about you guys. We'll get to that as we get our conspiracy talk out of here. Okay, now with the acquisition of Michael Beasley and, of course, trading Al Jefferson. Now, I'll say this really quick about Al Jefferson. Yeah, we traded him away, did not get a warm body in return because the Timberwolves acquired a $13 million trade exception, which is usable 1 year after, up to 1 year after the Bulls acquired Carlos Boozer for Utah in that S&T, sign and trade deal. So it's retroactive to 1 year. You can use the $13 million to acquire a $13 million contract in return, be it, whoever. Andre Iguodala, I'm just throwing that name. Of course, that's
Carmelo,
not going to happen.
hopefully.
Yeah, Carmelo. Yeah, I mean, somebody with a $13 million value, and maybe you throw in other pieces to equal a higher value. But if you don't use it in the $13 million, if you don't use it in that 12-month calendar, it's gone. Sure, you save cap space, and that's again tying into our conspiracy. You also the Timberwolves also got 2 lottery protected first rounders from the Utah Jazz. Al Jefferson very excited on Utah. Perfect fit, I think. They replaced Boozer in a nice way. I think Utah does not take a step back in that move. Anything you want to add on that? No?
That whole protected we'll give them Al.
Yeah.
You would think that it wouldn't be protected.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think we just dumped Al. That's all that trade was good for.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what they wanted to do was dump salary, and of course you can use the $13 million for something else for somebody that wants to dump salary during possibly most likely a lot of figures are pointing towards the trade deadline next February. So we'll definitely stay tuned there. So now that we've got that out of the way, of course, the 2 first-rounders protected lottery from the Jazz, as I already mentioned. So who's the highest-paid player on the Timberwolves? Michael Beasley. Michael Beasley in his rookie contract, and because his rookie contract is fairly high, being the number 2 overall pick in 2008, sorry. Is there a conspiracy in the works? Because a lot of the salary is being cut, and I mean it's being cut hardcore.
Yeah, no, a lot of people are happy about it. A lot of people are happy about it. Because you never know. It might let us get Carmelo or another superstar.
And that's the good part. You hope and pray that has something to do with it, because the cap space, I believe, the number is around $18 million.
It's cheap.
That's cheap.
It's cheap.
That's cheap. But the other thing is, though, and of course it's a conspiracy, it doesn't necessarily mean it is fact, but we're a little worried here because when teams cut salaries to this level and
it's that low price
and the owner suddenly disappears, and David Kahn is known to be a quote-unquote cap expert, yet these moves have been so bizarre, but the cap part is kind of... you wonder why you'd want a cap expert here. Could it be this team could be for sale at some point, and the question could become, who's going to buy the team?
Yeah.
That is a real question here. We're wondering, I mean, again, nothing is imminent. We're just bringing this question up here. The last time the Timberwolves were sold in '94, they almost moved to New Orleans, folks, until the NBA blocked it, and Glenn Taylor was quote-unquote the knight in shining armor. Well, Glenn Taylor lost over $20 million each of the last couple years here. $20 million. Now, of course, cutting salary again, yeah, you're trying to probably save your ass at this point. That might be all that's going on for the time being, and of course, you're trying to save up for potential another big pick coming in, or big free agent coming in, or sign and trade or whatever, trade exception that is. Now we hope and pray to God that's what's going on.
Yeah,
but is it?
Yeah, you would think that with Al, you would think that with Al you would do a sign and trade.
Yeah, that's what we thought was going to happen, right?
Yeah, but yeah, it's like, where has Taylor been? I haven't seen him.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you would think he would address the fans or something, but it seems like, yeah, we're at a bargain price for now. The team.
Mm-hmm. You do wonder what could really be going on. Red McCombs cut salary like crazy. There was always rumors about him moving the team to possibly San Antonio and eventually Los Angeles. Your uncle did bring up the possibility. Hey, that might be the best thing for the team. Not that we agree with that,
Yeah.
but it's like, the whole change of scenery bit.
It's kind of
God.
like if I was looking to buy a team, I would buy this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Cheap
buy low,
price,
sell high.
yeah, cheap price. A lot of mediocre players that I can trade if I want to, just like the Warriors.
Yeah.
They're pretty cheap. I come in, make some moves if I want to. And I mean, it's at a low price right now.
Yeah, and the Warriors were bought for $450 million. Yeah, this past week. And here's the other, and yeah, like we're saying, if they're for sale, where would the new owner be from? Where would the new owner be from?
Yeah, another thing I thought of.
Yep, I saw that look in your eye, kind of scary looking.
Yeah, the
like
what's her longest contract?
The longest one? Oh, man, oh god,
Darko.
That's a 4-year. Ridnour is a 4-year. Beasley's got 2 years left. And I'm saying this off the top of my head, folks, because I'm a pretty crazy fan. Yeah, that's I believe 4 years in. Yeah, there's not much tied up. Not
so
at
if
all.
you were to buy the team, wait 4 years.
Something's going to explode, yep. Yeah, maybe you get something.
Or you get nothing. I mean,
it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. So now that we got the conspiracy talk out of the way for the time being, we are going to move on to the Facebook groups. No break tonight. We just kind of went through with the flow tonight. Felt comfortable with it.
yeah.
I'll try to get a little closer. But then we're going to get to the Facebook talks now. We're not going to get to every single thing because some of it kind of was conversations about stuff that may or may not happen, and then, the draft and all that stuff. If I did the show earlier, I would have probably gotten more on here. I didn't even get to that one topic, too, where Vic Kamala compared David Kahn to Isaiah Thomas. That was quite interesting. Yeah, well, we'll find out how that goes. The only difference is Kahn isn't exactly putting us $100 million over the cap, so we'll just leave it there. I mentioned the Luke Ridnour, that the Wolves have met with Luke Ridnour. Nigel Southern commented at the time, I think lots of people make things up. Joey, rumors are 90% wrong and 10% ridiculous. I guess we're in the 10% ridiculous on that one. It really did happen. And, Wolves play their hand before the trade sessions. Good job there. So now we get to the Beasley thing. I found a really cool article, bleachreport.com. It's about Michael Beasley, several pages long. Very interesting. I know you read it and liked it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Very cool. Nigel Southern commented on this. Of course, Aussie Wolf. I could call him either way. His comment is, Joey, this article makes me realize how better he was than I thought. The Wolves better keep Beasley and better give him room. I'm not sure yet whether the final roster will look like, or what the final roster will look like, getting late here, and who will start, but I'm very enthusiastic about this team, much more so than last year. Brent Jacobs in all the comments, if Beasley wakes up and realizes that just because he was the number 2 pick in the 2008 draft doesn't mean anything is guaranteed, he needs to play like he wants to stick long term. That's pretty much the bit there. I'm excited, like Nigel said, and at the same time, like Brent said as well, that means he does. I mean, Beasley needs to grow up, and he could be that exciting piece for the Wolves.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he starts producing, it'll be to say he's going to be here long term. If anything, he might. If he doesn't want to be here, it'll be to play for a contract.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of both here. It could go either way with Beasley. He's going to have to play for a contract either way, and at the same time, we hope it's here.
Yeah. Unless we're winning, no one's going to play here in hopes play well here in hopes to stay here.
Yeah,
they're going to want to be moved or going to thinking about going to free agency.
It's. You just hope and pray we can convince people. Yeah, we convinced Darko, sort of, after we met his demands, but
yeah,
that's the worst part. Nigel commenting about Big L. Yep, that we talked about. He's gone for trade exception. Yep. Also mentioning a possibility of a Brewer trade. Very interesting there. I commented how I love Al. He's one of my all-time favorites. Hakeem Olajuwon. I also call Nigel Southern the best because, he is. He's been just a fantastic contributor to the show. And he responds with, thanks, Joey. You do a great job, and I'm happy to contribute as much as I can from the other side of the world because Nigel's from Australia. His comment is, I think this is a fair sacrifice for cap space as long as we don't waste it. Now we need to be patient and strike for the best player we can, be it over the summer or at the trade deadline next February. And, I'm leaning towards the latter there. Maybe Iggy. Amazing thing is that even some of the ESPN guys have praised Khan for this, so it must be fantastic.
I had never heard anything good about that move.
No, I'm trying not to be negative, but I'm trying not to.
From the way everyone else is getting, from the way everyone else is getting overpaid, I think.
Yeah, he was reasonable.
Yeah, he's a steal, especially since he, was just coming off the injury.
Yeah,
and it wasn't 100%. So I think the price they got for him, that's a steal.
Yeah, and that was when we got him from Boston. We signed him to $65 million. That's Wally Zerbiak money.
Yeah,
Wally was overpaid, but Al isn't. I don't think Al is. And obviously, no, Nigel's not saying he's overpaid. It's just ESPN saying it's like a fantastic move. I'm not sure I agree with them all the way. I could tell Nigel's not all the way convinced either. So he's like, so it must be fantastic. We'll see. I hope it works out. It's obviously incomplete because we don't know how it's going to. Who we're going to get with the 13 Dilly. So the final thing of the day, I comment about how we had a fantastic show and all that good stuff, or a fantastic response to episode 58. The four figures when it was usually low 3-figure level. Nigel's comment is a huge well done, Joey. The podcast is well worth a listen. Hopefully your numbers continue to grow, and I appreciate that very much. And I hope it's well worth a listen to you guys out there. And I'm guessing the numbers are doing pretty good for this one as well as I'm talking right now, and I'm just very excited. As you're listening to me talk, that is, I'm very excited, and I appreciate all of you out there. Thanks again for sticking with us, and again, the Forcaster returning. Hopefully, we can have him much, 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 much more. This is just fantastic. I love having you on.
I don't know. K-Fan offered me a little more than what you offered. So I don't know.
They offered about $100,000 a year, so I'm screwed. No, I'm. Well, maybe someday. Hopefully. I've enjoyed this very much, and it looks like you listeners are agreeing resoundingly at this point in time, and I appreciate it. So we're going to want you to please call our phone lines, 209-736-7877, 209-736-7877. They're the sportstuff.com voicemail. Do treat it as such. Mention you're calling in for Timberwolves Explosion, and leave your name and town and opine. Also, the sportstuff.com /boards. Do go there. Also, on the front page of the website, you can click on the button that says TSS Boards. Do join the message boards on the sportstuff.com. We'd love to have you on there. We can conversate on there. And, of course, the Facebook page. Just simply type in Timberwolves Explosion and Minnesota Timberwolves. Just going to type that in the search bar. Do join it. We appreciate it very much. And also the Twitter account. It is twitter.com /Wolves Explosion. So please do follow that. That Twitter has got me very excited. There's some pretty cool people following that Twitter, and I appreciate you guys out there if you're listening. So, again, that's fantastic. That's how I've found Brent, or Brent found me, I guess you could say. Appreciate that very much, Brent. And I appreciate you guys listening. We're going to keep going with the show. I wish I got it out a little sooner, but we managed to get it together and had our big-time co-host back. It was awesome. So thanks again, guys. We'll be back soon for episode number 60.